Hello, my name is Erica Malcolm, and today I will be discussing the security implications of permission models in smart home application frameworks. We have four authors that covered this presentation: Erlins Fernandez, Amir Ramidi, and Atul Prakash. All are PhD candidates from the University of Michigan. They have backgrounds in security and privacy, cyber physical systems, and the security of emerging technologies. And then we have Jay Young, who is the vice president of Samsung's Cloud Platform Group. And his research focuses on developing new technologies for protecting consumer privacy in the areas of mobile systems and emerging connected devices for the home. So we have a very knowledgeable authors to help support this presentation. All right, so let's go over the background. The authors in this paper provide analysis of SmartThings, which is a popular programming framework that reveals how many smart home applications' default settings are overprivileged. Later in the presentation, I will discuss overprivilege. Um, and then we have key findings where overprivilege is a significant shortcoming of SmartThings permission model. And this overprivilege ends up leaving users at risk for remote attacks, which we saw cause physical, financial, and psychological harm, unfortunately. So, to go over some methodologies that the authors use when conducting research, first they identified popular smart home frameworks. Some of the frameworks that were mentioned were Apple's HomeKit, Vera Control, Google Weave, AllSeen. But today we are going to be covering Samsung's SmartThings. For the second methodology, there was analysis of permission models employed by these frameworks. The third methodology was simulation and testing of security vulnerabilities of SmartThings. Later, we'll see the findings, which, in my opinion, turn out to be quite interesting. And then, last but not least, methodology four, we have the evaluation of the effectiveness of different permission models. So, why did they end up choosing SmartThings when there were several platforms that exist? They decided that SmartThings was a mature platform with a growing set of applications that they call smart apps. I checked my phone and I didn't even realize that I had smart apps. I use it for my Samsung TV, funny enough. So then they also said that SmartThings supports over 132 types of devices as of 2022. I'm sure that number has grown by now. But yeah, 132 is definitely a broad number of devices. Third, it shares key security design principles with other frameworks. It has a built in mechanism to protect device operations against third party applications. And there were lessons learned from the permission model that will influence the design of other smart home frameworks moving forward. So, we did find that there were potential security issues with SmartThings. We'll cover the least privilege adherence, sensitive event data protection, and the occurrence of overprivilege on smartphone in smart apps and insufficient sensitive event data protection. So, to get into the least privilege principle adherence, we asked this question: does the capability model protect sensitive operations against untrusted apps? So it's important to ensure that smart apps only request the privileges that they need. And it's also important to ensure that smart apps are only granted privileges that they requested. And then research found that many existing smart apps are in fact overprivileged. Now we're going to go into sensitive event data protection. So, what methods are provided to protect sensitive event data? The authors found unauthorized smart apps can eavesdrop on sensitive events. Okay. So, further research conducted that there is overprivilege in smart apps. The capabilities are coarse grained, which provides multiple commands and attributes for a device. A smart app could acquire the right to invoke commands on devices even if it doesn't use them. And a smart app can obtain more capabilities than it requested because of how the smart thing framework binds to the smart app device. We're going to discuss some vulnerabilities in the following chart. Okay, so as you can see here, there is a table 1, with examples of capabilities in the SmartThings framework. Okay, so the first column lists the capabilities, the second column lists the commands, and the third column lists the attributes associated with the prior two. So, for example, if the lock command is misused in the Smart app, it could lock out all of the authorized users. However, if the unlock command is misused, the Smart app could leave the house vulnerable to break-ins, which isn't good, right? So we're investigating existing capabilities defined in the SmartThings architecture to show that capabilities are too coarse-grained. So locking out an authorized member is obviously an inconvenience. But, you also don't want people who are in the house to be inconvenienced or vulnerable to break-ins, because that's dangerous when someone believes in an app is inherently safe. For example, our house, we use a smart security system. We have an application where we can turn the alarm on and off. I anticipate and I expect it to work efficiently, but if for some reason someone was to hack into my device, it's possible with this situation that the alarm isn't coming on and off as I anticipated. So that's just a current real world example. So we found that there was insufficient sensitive event data protection. The Smart app can monitor any event data published by the smart device. And once a smart app acquires a 128-bit identifier, it can monitor all events of that smart device without gaining any of the capabilities that device supports. And certain events can be spoofed. Authors found that any smart app or smart device that can spoof location-related device events. So, um, you know, event spoofing is definitely concerning because, you know, um, an attacker can create a legitimate event for something that might not even be real. The authors use, it'll raise the smoke. It use smoke as an example. Like for an example, a smoke detector can go off in your house and it's really a false alarm, but that's just a way for them to use an intrusion to, alarm you guys or a homeowner potentially. Then you have proof of concept attacks. So Using four concrete attacks, the authors demonstrated how the overprivileged design issue weakens home security. Authors combined overprivilege with other security design flaws to make the attacks remote and stealthy. And the next slide, in table 2, summarizes four types of attacks based on insecure design on the permissions model in SmartThings. All right, so we're going to go over a simulation of results that the authors found in their findings. So here are four proof of concept attacks. So the first one is a backdoor pin code injection where they're allowed enable physical entry. You have a door lock pin code snooping, which also allows enable physical entry, disabling a vacation mode, and then, like I used in the other one, a false fire alarm, which is annoying, it's a nuisance, and it's misinformation. So there are varying levels of attacks that one can use if they want to hack into, smart systems. Some are more annoying, and then some are definitely more serious that can be a loss of, life potentially, or, safety. In conclusion, there is predicted to reach 20.8 billion connected devices in 2020. A permission model is the first line of defense between the user's privacy sensitive data, physical devices, and attackers. A permission model with security design deficiencies will lead to various kinds of attacks, and there is need for more research on permission models and how apps use data once they gain access. And that concludes the presentation. Thank you, guys.